Hi, Rich again for another review that you probably don't want to see or not interested in, but it's fun for me. Here, with Harley Benton SC400 and, which way? And the SC Custom 2. So it's twice the amount of money roughly for the SC Custom 2. Is it twice the guitar? Let's find out. A not very smooth transition. Right, so this is the gold top version of the SC400. Let's turn that off a sec. So you still get a curved top on here. It's a basswood body, not mahogany. Four knobs, more traditional Les Paul kind of style. 2 open coil humbuckers, which I believe are ceramic. 3-way toggle switch. Let's take that off a second. Headstock, and this one's got old style tuners on it, plastic nut, and it's on the back is all sort of a matte black paint sort of finish on it. It's got a blackwood fingerboard, and I don't know if you can see that all very well particularly, but again, out of the box it was set up quite well in terms of string height. Yeah, it's pretty good, I think. Now, I think the first thing to say about it, when you look around the guitar in terms of finish, it's still, fretwork's fine, you know, nothing sharp or horrible here, which is surprising. The nut on this is cut pretty well, although I have to say it doesn't stay in tune all that well, really, and there's a mixture of the nut, or the tuners, probably the tuners actually. I don't think the tuners are great. It doesn't stay in tune particularly well. And there are a couple of little things on the finish which are a bit more conducive of a guitar that's £115 versus one that's 230. Just about to see this sort of gold here. It's almost like where the finish did off. They're like, oh, do we go up to the edge of the neck, or do we leave just a little blank spot and I hope no one will notice? Don't think that's particularly great, but otherwise, finish-wise, it's all pretty good. Now, I just tuned it up a few minutes ago, and it's probably going to be out of tune again in no time. Just plug it in and turn it down. First thing I would say is the toggle switch on this compared to the SC Custom is flimsy. Really flimsy. I don't know whether this was just a bit of a turkey, or I've just, because the other one is so much sturdier now, I've noticed it. Excuse me, hot in here. But yeah, toggle switch is not as good. But the thing that surprised me probably the most about it really is the sound of this. It's a fair, I'll turn it up in a moment, but it's quite a lot louder. And I know the ceramic pickups are just louder than the Alnicos in the SC Custom, which it probably is, but they are quite a bit louder. So for overdriven and distorted tones, it's pretty good. Still quite clear, but trying to get a clean tone really off this of any sort is nigh on impossible, really. Just want the neck. Do you remember me saying on the SC Custom, it's the 14-inch and a C profile? But this is also a C profile, but it's actually a bit chunkier. It's a bit hard to tell, but not quite as wide, weirdly. So playing a, you know, for someone with average size hands, getting a bar chord down, further down the neck, is much easier than the SC Custom, actually. Just about make it down here. I can go like at least two frets further down, and it's just much easier. Might be partly because the action is it's a little bit lower on this as well, but the neck is definitely a bit more. It's a bit more user friendly, really, in truth. But another Harley Benton thing, and I say I've had a lot of Harley Bentons now. I've had TE2030, ST2030, 62. What else? I've had one of the PRS like copies. I've had quite a few of them. The tone knobs on the Les Pauly ones seem to be the worst of the bunch. So this is on the clean channel. Neck pickup. I turn that tone knob. It does go dark. That's right for the top. So it's a little bit on or off. Now bear in mind it's a clean channel. Nothing really clean about that, is there? Not clean at all. I'll move down the pickups. Nothing clean about those either. It just doesn't clean up. I've tried, trust me, I've tried every different way of moving the volumes and tones on here, played around with the amp, and I just can't really get anything that I would consider clean. So I think this one, it's got to be just your out and out kind of rock machine, I suppose. The other little thing I wanted to say about this one is the sustain. It's still it's still pretty good. It's a set neck construction, which obviously helps that, but it's still still rings out. Yeah, still rings out nicely. Slightly thicker tone up the neck. You can hear that very well. So what you get for your £115 really here is something without, I would say, a huge amount of tonal range. You're obviously a bit smoother off the neck than you are off the bridge. It's loud and kind of rocky sounding for lead tones, but you just can't really clean it up. Neck's nice, easy to play. Does it feel like quality? I think for 115 quid, it's probably all right. Like the neck feels nice, body feels nice. It's quite heavy. I'd say pickups are loud, knob's not great, but for £115 you can get an Epiphone, Les Paul Special, which feels a bit more like a toy than this, albeit the electronics maybe are better. But this would, if you could upgrade this slightly without spending a fortune, then it probably would be worth it, because I say it does feel nice. So I'm just going to quickly put the SE Custom plug that back in. Excuse me. Oh, it's boiling in here today. And I'm going to put that down. I've got the volume all the way up on this. And straight away, I think you can hear it's just not quite as thick. As I said before though, the sustain on this is still very good. This guitar does clean up. reasonably well, even without the coil tap on. But in terms of its kind of crunchy sound, it just hasn't got quite as much horsepower. It's a bit higher pitched. It's not quite as thick, not quite as loud. Maybe it's a bit more articulate, I suppose. But say the other one, I think if you're just someone who really is into your rock music, it probably feels a bit more grunty, you know, a bit thicker neck, and the pickups are a little bit louder. In terms of when you pick them up, does this feel like a better quality guitar? Because it's almost twice the money. It's about £230 or 220. It's a weird one because obviously it looks a lot prettier. But do you know that old adage about things feeling quality because of their weight? I mean, heavy. It's not as heavy as the other one, but it does stay in tune. Does stay in tune a lot better the next night. And although the tone knob is still pretty poor, as I mentioned on my other video, you do get more sounds out of this. So what I think my takeaway from this is: do you get twice the money? Twice the guitar for twice the money. Maybe you get 1.5 times the guitar for your money. I don't know if it's quite twice as good, really. And if you're just wanting a Les Paul and you want to make some noise and you want to rock out a bit, I think the £115 here, especially, you know, they do other colours, it's not just gold top, but I think that's a good guitar. You know, nothing wrong with that at all. And perhaps the way to go, if you're wanting your cleaner tones anyway, really, is to get a Strat or a Telly and just say, that is my rock guitar, and that's just kind of what that does. And your Strat or your Telly is your single coil, you know, the clean sound guitar. This one here, which is trying to be a bit of both, I suppose it is a little bit of both, really. But much as I don't dislike this, I think if I had my time over, and I might actually sell this anyway, to be honest, I think I'd rather just say I'll have a single coil sounding guitar that does its job, and I'll have a meaty sounding Les Paul to do that job. That makes sense. So anyway, enough waffle. I hope that's of some use. Again, just a bit of a fun thing for me, really, more than anything else. If you think the video's of any use, please like. If you've got any questions, let me know. Like I say, I've had lots of other Harley Bentons, and I've got about 70 guitars altogether, even though I can't really play. It's pretty, aren't they? So just keep buying them and selling them. So I've had lots of different things. So yeah, comment, press like if you want to, that'd be great, so I know if you like the video. Thanks guys, bye. Come on. What the hell is going on there? What the fuck?